You feel that tightness around the scar. It's not a sharp pain, but a strange heaviness, a kind of tension that never fully went away. Your breath avoids expanding in that direction, as if your body still remembers the day it was opened. It might have been months ago, maybe even years, but something in that area still feels different, and you know it. This has a name: memory of the cut. It's the somatic imprint your nervous system keeps active, even after the skin has closed and the stitches have been removed. Throughout this video, you'll understand why your body continues to protect that area as if the procedure were happening right now, and how to start releasing what got stuck on that day. Something was recorded at the moment of surgery, something your body interpreted as a maximum threat and never fully resolved. Later on, you'll discover the exact gesture that tells your nervous system the danger is over, and that the cycle can finally come to a close. Margaret was 54 years old and worked as a librarian at a public school. Her daily routine involved organizing books, helping students with research, and maintaining the quiet needed for concentration. It was a job she loved, but in recent years, it had become physically uncomfortable. 5 years earlier, an abdominal surgery had removed an ovarian cyst. The operation was successful, and her recovery went smoothly, at least on the surface. But ever since, Margaret carried a stiffness that just wouldn't go away. The area around the scar remained tense, as if the muscles were constantly on guard. Her breath no longer reached all the way down to her lower belly. It stopped short, blocked by an invisible barrier. She avoided touching the area, felt a vague discomfort that didn't show up in exams, and noticed that certain movements, bending down to reach books on low shelves, leaning over her desk, triggered a pulling sensation and an emotional heaviness she couldn't quite name. Margaret tried traditional physical therapy. The therapist worked on the muscles surrounding the scar, stretched the fascia, and strengthened her core. The relief lasted a few days, but the tension always returned, as if something deeper was still keeping that protective layer in place. She turned to psychotherapy, spoke about the fear she felt before the surgery, about the vulnerability of being under anesthesia. The conversations helped her process her emotions, but her body remained unchanged, her breath still broken, the tension still there. She tried relaxation techniques, guided meditation, restorative yoga, warm baths with conscious breathing. Everything brought temporary relief, but nothing dissolved the feeling that her body was still on alert, as if part of her had stayed behind in the operating room that day. That's when Margaret started to notice something unsettling. Her nervous system was acting as if the surgery was still happening, staying on high alert around that area, guarding a threat that no longer existed. One afternoon, while placing her hand over the scar during a breathing session, she felt something shift. It wasn't instant relief, but a clear perception. Something had been recorded there, and her body had been trying to process it for years. In that moment, she was about to uncover what had really gotten stuck that day. But to understand what Margaret discovered, you first need to understand what happens in your own body when it goes through surgery, and why that event doesn't end when you leave the hospital. Every surgery creates a time marker in the nervous system, not just a vague mental memory, but a precise somatic record. In that moment, the body learns that it was cut while unconscious, vulnerable, exposed. That imprint doesn't live only in the mind. It resides in the texture of the fascia around the incision, in the density of the surrounding muscles, in the way the breath avoids fully expanding in that direction. In Hermetic traditions, the body was seen as a living temple, where every experience is etched into physical and energetic layers. Surgery, in that sense, was recognized as a rite of passage. There was separation, a break in the inner axis, but no conscious integration of what was lost or rearranged. The cut opened a cycle that should have been symbolically closed, and when that doesn't happen, part of your vitality stays trapped in the moment of the incision. When the scalpel cuts through skin, fascia, and tissue, the autonomic nervous system triggers deep survival responses. Even under anesthesia, the dorsal vagal branch responsible for freezing and collapse in the face of inescapable threats can activate, creating an imprint of immobilization that settles into the tissues. The fascia around the incision contracts, thickens, and forms adhesions. The sensory cortex reorganizes the map of that region, sometimes becoming hypervigilant, sometimes numb, but always altered. Polyvagal theory explains that when faced with a threat, you cannot escape or fight. The body enters shutdown, an ancient response of simulated death that helps the organism endure the unbearable. This state doesn't end when the surgery is over. Research on tissue memory shows that fascia retains position, tension, and mechanical trauma. If the surgery took place with the body stretched, manipulated in an unnatural posture, those settings become etched into the architecture of the connective tissue. That memory may be keeping parts of your body in excessive protection, limiting movements that once felt natural, changing your posture, and fragmenting your breathing. And more than that, it may be influencing unconscious choices of self-protection that shape your relationships, your work, and your sense of inner strength. Now that you understand what was recorded, you're ready to apply the process that frees your body from this state. And that's exactly what we're going to do next. The practice begins with honest somatic awareness, bringing attention to the area of the scar without judgment. Without rushing, simply observing. Your body has maintained protection because it never received a clear signal that the danger was over. What you're about to do is offer that signal, not through force, but through conscious presence that allows the nervous system to recognize, we are here, together, and we can let go. Bring your awareness to the area around the scar. Don't force anything, just observe. Is there tension when your attention moves closer? Does your breath avoid expanding in that direction? Is there emotional memory, sadness, anger, fear that comes up as you focus there? Just notice, without trying to change anything. We're simply acknowledging what is present, giving a name to what the body has silently held all these years. Now, breathe gently into that area. Inhale as if the air could reach the point of the incision, not forcing its way in, but offering the possibility of inner movement. As you exhale, allow your attention to surround the area, as if wrapping that territory in a warm, welcoming presence. Repeat. Inhale, offering space. Exhale, holding witness. Notice if something begins to soften, if the tension eases slightly, if there's a subtle warmth. Here's where you may notice changes. A gentle warmth around the scar, a softening of the muscles nearby, an involuntary sigh that drops from the chest, or a sense of more internal space as you breathe. Don't expect a dramatic release. Somatic healing is incremental, deep, and quiet. 1 degree less of tension is already real transformation. Keep breathing, offering presence, observing without pressure. If you feel discomfort breathing directly into the scar, breathe around it. Surround the area with gentle attention, without invading. If there's emotional numbness, if you don't feel anything when focusing there, just stay present without expectation. Your body is learning that it's safe to feel again. This takes time. There's no need to rush. Continue breathing softly, allowing your nervous system to register. Someone is finally here, witnessing. Stay with this rhythm, inhaling to offer space, exhaling to stay present for a few breathing cycles. Notice if there are subtle shifts, your breath sinking slightly deeper, your jaw relaxing, your shoulders releasing a weight you didn't even know you were holding. These are signs that your body has begun to shut down the alert state it's been holding since that day. Before we move on to the next layer of the practice, there's something crucial you need to know about what happened with Margaret, because what she discovered in that moment is exactly what you're starting to access now. That afternoon, with her hand over the scar, Margaret realized the stiffness wasn't an irreversible physical consequence, it was active protection, held in place by her nervous system, waiting for a signal that it could finally let its guard down. When she placed her palm over the area with the intention of presence, not to fix, not to force relief, but simply to witness, something responded. For the first time in 5 years, she felt a warm pulse in that area, a slight vibration and tears that came without warning. In the weeks that followed, as she repeated the process, daily awareness, directed breathing, conscious touch, Margaret's breath began to move past her diaphragm, reaching her lower belly again. Movements she used to avoid, like squatting or twisting her torso, returned naturally, without pain. The feeling of being split inside began to dissolve. She described it as feeling whole again, as if scattered pieces had come back together. It wasn't instant magic, it was an honest process, slow and deep. What Margaret felt in that first touch is what you're starting to notice now. The body recognizing that, at last, someone is present to witness what it went through. Not to judge, not to rush the healing, but to honor the experience and offer permission to let go of what no longer needs to be carried. Now comes the conscious touch. Place the palm of your hand over the area of the scar, over your clothing if that feels more comfortable. This is not a mechanical gesture. It's an act of recognition that this part of your body went through a rupture, that it carries a story, and it deserves to be seen, not avoided. Let your hand rest with gentle weight, offering warmth, presence, and safety. As you maintain the touch, keep breathing. Notice if the area begins to receive your hand, if there's a softening beneath the palm, if the warmth increases, if your breath drops with less resistance. You might feel the urge to cry, to sigh deeply, or to relax muscles that have been tense since that day. All of that is valid. All of that is your body beginning to close a cycle that remained open. Now, create a clear internal intention. You don't need to speak it out loud, but direct it toward your body. You can let go now. The danger has passed. You don't have to keep guarding this. Don't push, don't demand, just offer permission. The nervous system responds to invitations, not commands. Keep the hand, keep the breath, keep the intention. Allow something to dissolve in its own time. Awareness, breath, touch, and intention form a complete cycle that signals to the nervous system the event can come to a close. We're not erasing the story, we're allowing it to stop ruling the present. The memory of the cut remains, but it no longer needs to keep the body in emergency mode. The core of the practice is now complete. What comes next is sealing what has shifted, creating an anchor you can return to whenever you need. Notice the physical marker that something has reorganized. Maybe your breath now flows more easily toward the scar area, or there's a gentle warmth around it, or the tension you used to feel when touching it has softened. These are real, bodily signals, not imagination. Your nervous system has begun to shut down the protective state it's held since the day of the surgery. Acknowledge that change. It confirms the cycle is beginning to close. The anchoring gesture is simple. Whenever you feel the need in the coming days or weeks, place the palm of your hand over the scar area for 30 to 60 seconds, breathing gently, and repeat internally, "The cut happened, but now I am whole." You can do this gesture discreetly, in any setting, at work, at home, before going to sleep. It's a portable anchor that reactivates the sense of safety you created today. Return protocol. If the stiffness or discomfort returns in the coming days, and it might, because the body sometimes revisits old protections before releasing them completely, here's what to do. First, take 3 deep breaths directed toward the area. Second, place your hand gently over the scar. Third, repeat the anchoring phrase internally. This isn't just a one-time practice. It's a long-term tool you now carry with you. The seal is complete. You now have the understanding of what your body held, the practice to release it, and the protocol to use whenever needed. What remains is to grasp the deeper meaning of what just happened, and why this changes more than just your relationship with the scar. You now carry something beyond intellectual understanding, a somatic recognition that the body is capable of closing cycles that remained open. From now on, you'll begin to notice signs of stored memories that were once invisible, a tension that won't ease, a breath that avoids a certain area, a discomfort that doesn't show up on tests. These signs stop being a mystery and become an invitation. Something here is waiting to be seen, witnessed, and released. The memory of a surgical cut is just one of many imprints the body holds. There are records of unprocessed losses, relational ruptures, ancestral fears passed down through generations, and traumas that never found closure. This video is a doorway into broader territories of somatic healing, deep layers where your body's story is still waiting for conscious presence to let go of what no longer needs to be carried. Peter Levine teaches that trauma is the body's unfinished language, a sentence that began but was never completed. When you bring presence to what was imprinted, you allow that sentence to find its end. The body can then stop repeating the same story, the same defense, the same protective pattern that shaped your posture, your breath, your relationships, and your path. Your body is a temple where the divine resides. By honoring the memory of the cut, you honor the wisdom that ensured your survival, and you also acknowledge that survival doesn't have to be a permanent state. Source moves through matter, and freeing the body is a form of embodied prayer. Each cycle you close returns vitality that was once held back, energy that can now serve creation, presence, and a fully lived life. If this content touched something deep within you, leave a like so more people can find this knowledge. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive future videos on somatic release and body healing. Share this with someone you know who carries memories in their body after surgery. This might be the video they've been waiting for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Your support helps us create more content like this and reach those who need it most. Comment below, "The memory of the cut no longer shapes my destiny." There's another essential video waiting on your screen. Click and continue your journey of reconnection with your body. What other memories might still be shaping your body without you even realizing it?